The drama inside South Africa's corridors of power reached a breaking point this week as President Cyril Ramaphosa was accused of being the shadow force behind one of the most controversial decisions in recent memory, the disbandment of the KwaZulu-Natal Political Killings Task Team. At the heart of the storm stands National Police Commissioner Fannie Masemola, who admitted to following orders, but critics insist those orders came directly from the president himself. To grasp the weight of this moment, you need the backdrop. South Africa has been gripped by a wave of political assassinations, particularly in KwaZulu-Natal, where councillors, activists, and rivals have been targeted in brutal killings. In response, the Political Killings Task Team, known as the PKTT, was established to bring the masterminds to justice. It became a symbol of hope for communities living in fear. But in December 2024, that team was suddenly and controversially disbanded. The official story pointed to committee consensus. Masemola claimed the Committee on Police, chaired by DA's Ian Cameron and including EFF's Leon Matthews, two MK party representatives, another DA member, and voices from ANC, ACDP, and NCC, had broadly agreed the task team had run its course. But whispers quickly turned into accusations. This was no ordinary committee decision. This was a directive traced back to the highest office in the land. Enter Cyril Ramaphosa. Behind closed doors, sources say he ordered that the team be dissolved, worried about the political fallout its investigations might bring. Masemola, under pressure and bound by hierarchy, simply executed the will of the president. What looked like consensus, critics argue, was really compliance. The timing could not have been more suspicious. Just days earlier, revelations had surfaced linking political insiders to alleged hitmen like Vuzimuzi Cat Matlala. The PKTT had been pursuing these cases aggressively. Suddenly, 121 active murder dockets, all tied to political violence, were suspended overnight. For families waiting for justice, the decision felt like betrayal at the highest level. Imagine losing a loved one to a political assassination, only to learn that the very task force created to bring killers to justice was quietly dismantled. This is why outrage has exploded across KwaZulu-Natal and beyond. Communities already drowning in fear now ask, was the government protecting the people or protecting itself? President Ramaphosa has tried to maintain distance, letting Masemola take the heat. But insiders at the commission say his fingerprints are everywhere. Masemola's testimony before Judge Mbayiseli Madlanga painted the picture of a man carrying out orders, not initiating them. When pressed about who truly gave the instruction, his hesitation spoke volumes. This raises a haunting question. If the president of South Africa is willing to interfere in a task team fighting political killings, what message does that send to citizens? To whistleblowers? To those already living in fear of the gun? Did you expect this twist? That the fight against corruption and assassination might be compromised not by rogue officers, but by decisions made at the very top? Public reaction has been fierce. Opposition parties accuse Ramaphosa of shielding allies and silencing investigations. Social media hashtags like #WhoOrderedThis and #HandsOffPKTT have gone viral. Protesters march not just for justice, but for accountability from the presidency itself. Ramaphosa's defenders argue the task team had become ineffective, bogged down by internal politics. But critics counter. If inefficiency was the issue, why not reform the team instead of dismantling it entirely? Why shut down 121 cases unless there was something to hide? For ordinary South Africans, the stakes could not be higher. Political killings are not abstract statistics. They tear apart families, destabilize communities, and erode trust in democracy. When those cases are abandoned, hope dies with them. Each suspended docket is not just paper. It is a silent story, a stolen future. Masemola, once seen as a leader who might clean up the police, now stands accused of complicity. But many believe he is simply a soldier following orders. The bigger question is, how far does Ramaphosa's influence reach, and how many layers of this story remain hidden? The Madlanga Commission has become the stage where these truths unravel. Each testimony, each revelation, pulls South Africans deeper into the web of corruption and political maneuvering. What began as a story about a disbanded task team has now turned into a battle for the very soul of the nation's justice system. How would your community respond if the president himself was accused of shutting down murder investigations? Would people demand his resignation, or would silence protect him? The implications ripple far beyond South Africa. International observers warn that undermining law enforcement credibility weakens investor confidence, fuels instability, and paints the country as a democracy at risk. Already, foreign headlines ask, can South Africa still deliver justice when its leaders stand accused of shielding killers? The public is watching closely. Families of victims demand reinstatement of the task team. Activists call for transparency. And ordinary citizens, struggling daily against crime and poverty, want proof that their leaders place people above politics. Every day, without answers, deepens the distrust. Ramaphosa faces a choice. Will he confront these accusations head-on, proving he values justice above self-preservation? Or will he remain silent, allowing suspicion to harden into certainty? Masemola, too, stands at a crossroads. Will he continue to defend his obedience to the president, or will he reveal more of what really happened behind closed doors? His legacy, and perhaps his career, depends on what he chooses to say next. The future of the political killings task team and the hundreds of lives tied to its investigations hangs in the balance. Whether justice is delivered or delayed will define not only Ramaphosa's presidency, but South Africa's path forward. Do you believe justice has truly been served when murder cases can be frozen by political order? Or does real justice require leaders brave enough to keep investigations alive, no matter the cost? As this story unfolds, one truth is undeniable. The disbandment of the PKTT is not just about policing. It is about power, betrayal, and the future of a nation still fighting to find its moral compass. Thank you for watching. If this story opened your eyes to the battles shaping South Africa today, don't just scroll away. Like this video, share it with your friends, and most importantly, tell us in the comments, was Ramaphosa right to give the order, or was this the moment he failed the people? And if you haven't yet, subscribe for more gripping real-life stories that uncover the truths shaping our world.